Nigeria's northwest region is a pressing concern. I mean, formed after the July 2023 coup in Niger, Lukarawa has attacked rural communities in Kebbi State, killing 15 people and injuring several others. And this group originated from herding communities along the Nigeria-Niger borders, and they even exploited gaps in cooperation between both, countries. And let's just introduce us. My name is Udwak Daniel Omoefe.
Yes, and I am Omoefe Peace.
Right.
Thank you so much for staying with us.
Right.
Indeed, this is one, subject matter that seems to be on the front burner in recent times, especially for the fact that Nigeria has actually been very heavy on the war against, insurgency and insurgents in the country. But to also discover that we now have a new terrorist group in the country, it actually speaks volumes. It says a lot. At the end of the day, it's been more of, blame games, right? Of course, from the stakeholders, to other groups who are also reacting to the stance of, the security agencies that are supposed to, protect the lives and property of Nigerians. But what seems to be, on the front burner at this point in time would be the fact that a number of people were killed over the weekend.
That's right.
In Kebbi State, and also the locals in Sokoto State. They've also raised concerns. We also understand that the Kebbi State deputy governor, I think, has also set up a committee of some sort, to see how this terrorist group can be decimated. At the same time, there are also, different perspectives already coming into, the picture or into play as regards to how this terrorist group actually found its way into Kebbi State and Sokoto State. Let's just say Nigeria in general, because these states are actually in Nigeria. But for us not to blow things out of proportion, because we want to give you the very best of information and also bring you up to speed, with the latest happenings in that sector, we've got a security analyst, right? One who can also be tagged the daredevil security analyst, the person of Comrade Salihu Mahmoud Dantata. He joins us live via telephone this morning. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Hello, comrade, are you there? All right, comrade. Well, we'll get through with the comrade in a short bit, but it might also suffice, to learn the fact that just recently, a new terrorist group, of course, you already know, Lukarawa, has emerged in northwestern Nigeria, and the ACF. Right, that's the Arawa Consultative Forum. That's right. Is urging the federal government to take immediate action to crush the group, and the emergence of Lukarawa. I think it's a bit controversial whether it's Lukarawa or Lukarawa, right? According to ACF, they said that the emergence of Lukarawas adds to the region's persistent insecurity challenges. We also understand that the Northern Elders Forum, they've also come out to react to this. That's and somehow they think that instead of apportioning blames, the security agencies should rise up to the occasion and, deal decisively with this terrorist group, especially for the fact that it is still very new, right? That's right.
Somehow.
And quite a number of persons have said that the emergence of this group actually took advantage of, what has been going down in northwestern Nigeria, the recent political and military shifts in Niger, and the origins, has it that they entered Nigeria from Niger following the recent coup there, and parts of Sokoto and Kebbi, has been, part of their strongholds. And, when you come to, all of these groups, there is always a recruitment process, right? How do they recruit their, the victims, or their compatriots, if you like, for me to use that? They exploit vulnerabilities due to the breakdown of military cooperation between Nigeria and Niger. If you also recall, Omoefe, I think we've had the military just very recently, right, putting a call out there to residents of Kebbi saying, hey, we need your cooperation.
And also residents of Sokoto State, the locals.
Yes, right. So we need your cooperation, in tackling this one out. We are still grappling with the Boko Haram on the sidelines. We're still trying to see how we can take ourselves out of the secession of different nations found within the geographical structure of Nigeria. I mean, we've seen the Yoruba nation here. At some point, it was the Igbo nation, and even is in the South region
Niger
too, Niger Delta. We're calling for a nation, and we have seen how all of these is breaking down into more agitations, where some persons are calling for a new state, right? And it's not far-fetched of the fact that, hey, people are saying that they're seeking out for something. They're asking for something. Maybe there's something that these ones need, and should this be satisfied, maybe some peace will indeed come to the regions, right? If you also recall the Niger Delta at the time, yeah, where it was called the militancy and everything, and Ministry of Niger Delta was put in place and all of that, and you've seen what's going on right now.
It has been renamed.
Now that it's been renamed, there's some sort of uproar, saying that, okay, now that you've renamed it, it's not functioning in the way that it ought to. And we saw the Boko Haram saying, well, we are against Western education at some point, and everything Western, they don't want it, and because of that, they want to be broken free. We've seen all of that. And now we have a Lukarawa.
But just to interject, Yudi, in the case of this Lukarawa sect, I mean, we're yet to understand the concept of this terrorist group. We really cannot tell for a fact what their demands are. And let's not also sweep under the carpet the speculations that some of these locals, they also gave this Lukarawa sect, the nod to actually penetrate these communities,
right,
and probably have a field day. So it's a little bit dicey, but let's see if the security analyst can help us get sense. Is probably privy to some sort of information that we are not aware of. So.
Well, still trying to put that together right there, but I mean, while we're still trying to connect with him, the network is a bit faulty right there. I mean, everything is almost breaking down. I hope it doesn't. I hope against that.
Breaking down or collapsing?
Breaking down, collapsing. I mean, national grid collapses, telecommunications on the other part. I mean, quite a number of things. Let's look at the military, response, to this. I mean, the Nigerian military is working to counter the group's influence through sustained, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, that's the ISR operations right there. I mean, this development raises concerns about the spread of terrorism in the region and the need for, some coordinated efforts to address the threat. And there are some questions, too, that arise, from this. But just before we get into all of that, let us, give you a personal story, right, where residents of Mira village in Kebbi's Algie local government area witnessed the devastating attack that left 15 dead and several injured. Local traditional ruler Samaila Mira expressed concerns about the group's presence. I mean, if you also want to take a critical look into, some analysis and contextual, prevalence in this conversation too, you might consider the fact that Nigeria's insecurity challenges is stemming from historical, economic, and social factors. I mean, from the historical context, you see successive governments' inability to address insecurity. I mean, it's no news anymore. From the economic factors, you see poverty, unemployment, even lack of opportunities. From the social, factor, you see ethnic and religious tensions. And it takes us back to whether or not this is related to, religious, ethnic tensions, that arise. I mean, many times over time, when we see crises like this, quite a number of persons, try to dissociate it from religion, dissociate it from, ethnic bias and all of that. But what do we say if such sects or such people or such terrorist group are aligning themselves with a particular, religious group? And now this is not a religious conversation. I'm just saying that many a time, right, ethnic and religious tensions might as well give rise, to some of these issues.
All right, we have Comrade Saliu Dandata on the line now. Thank you so much for your patience, Comrade.
Thank you very much, Efe.
Right. Comrade, if you don't mind, so that we get better reception, right? A call will come through to your phone now. Please endeavor to pick the call, right? If that's okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
so much. Well, because we cannot really, or can barely give credence to your voice at that point in time, comrade. But yes, the comrade is is really eager to engage this conversation. I mean, but let's look at some of the, stakeholders, who have given some thoughts, on the issue. I mean, we've seen, Major General Edward Buba, the director of media operations, saying the terrorists exploited gaps in cooperation between Nigeria and Niger. Well, hello to you and good morning to you, comrade.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woodlock.
Lovely.
All right.
Lovely. Good to have you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We are looking at the emergence of the Lukarawa insurgent group in Nigeria. And for starters, is there any information you're privy to? Maybe you can help us get sense,
out of this.
I mean what this Lukarawa, insurgent group is all about.
Hello?
Yes, please. Are you there?
Yeah, come again, please.
Yes, please. We're asking if you're privy to some sort of information with regards to, what this Lukarawa insurgent group is all about. Is there any concept attached to this group yet?
I have more than privileged information on what Lukarawa terrorists are, and their origin as well.
Okay.
In the first place, the Lukarawa terrorists that emerged in some parts of Sokoto and Kebbi State were components of terrorists that fought in Libya, and they all have network from Libya, Mali, and Niger. And in the Stony Forest, where they went and camped, they were in Siro, Koyambana, a town in Kebbi State. And I think majorly they were Itato protected by the inhabitants.
Are you there?
Bandits operating in those. Yeah, Mudi, are you with me?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Go ahead.
You said they were contracted. Were they contracted?
By the inhabitants of those areas in Sokoto and Kebbi State.
You mean residents in the community?
Yes, the inhabitants of those communities.
Okay, just to be clear.
They had earlier contracted them to rescue their kidnapped victims by the terrorist, the bandit groups of Bello Turji, Sabubu, and others.
Okay.
And after some time, they changed and started levying taxes on them. Organized their own courts where they were trying those that committed certain crimes according to the terrorist norms and what have you. But above all, the Lukarawa terrorists are foreign Fulanis, because even if you are familiar with Nigerian Fulani, you can observe that the Fulani, the Lukarawa terrorist speak differs from Nigerian Fulani tribe, and as well they speak other foreign languages other than that of Nigeria. So in the whole, to cut the whole story short, I think it is lacking ownership involvement, OI, that is a security. What we mean by ownership what we mean by ownership involvement is, you see, sometimes the failure of inhabitants that are facing armed banditry and terrorist activities to avail security agencies or presence of certain people create certain problems for them. So I think the lacking OI, ownership involvement in these areas, created this problem, because they are Itato made them part of theirs without even getting privileged intelligence information on these Lukarawa terrorists that earlier came as good Samaritans. In fact, they even started dishing out some attractive gifts to some of the youths in these areas that are presently being affected. And to also say, the whole thing goes down to also failure in intelligence gathering and, sharing by security agencies. What happens to presence of DSS in local areas, police outposts, the military and others? So it is shameful to our security apparatus, particularly the intelligence arm, which ought to have gathered this intelligence, whether the locals avail them of intelligence information or not, and this wouldn't have been so. I can vividly remember when Ali Babangida was governor of Niger State, there were settlement of Darussalam in Mokwa. The moment they got information, they ordered the commissioner of police and the army and the DSS, they went to evacuate and demolish the place. So that of Kebbi and Sokoto would have been like that if the governor was to be on top of the situation as well as the cooperation of the inhabitants of this area.
All right, comrade. So, is it safe to say now that the Lukarawa sect, they are now some sort of a formidable force? Because if you say that they were contracted by the locals in these communities to help them, deal decisively with the bandits groups or leaders, talking about Turji and the host of others, it means also that they probably have in their possession sophisticated weapons, and if at some point in time they even give gifts, to youth in the communities, it means they've eaten really deep into the hearts of these communities. So do you think we should lose sleep over the emergence of this group?
Yes, it is a worrisome development now, because they later changed from protecting the locals to becoming their oppressors, also terrorizing them by imposing levies on them and doing some kind of nefarious activities and also others. Don't forget, they are breakaway from Libya, Mali, and Niger. And hitherto we used to have a multinational task force where Chad, Niger, and some Sahelian countries were involved. And because of the coup in Niger, that cooperation between Niger and Nigerian defense forces was not longer there. So that also made the presence of Lukarawa to be noticed by the Nigerian security forces from the police, DSS, army, and other agencies, which is rather unfortunate. So presently, I will tell you that the Lukarawa terrorists have become endangered species, because they later changed to start tormenting the villagers. Like I told you, after they are also an extension of ISIS. They have link with ISIS. The Lukarawa terrorists, they have links with ISIS, ISIS, which you know. So the issues are presently they have become endangered species to the communities. And don't forget, if time is not taken, they can extend to other parts of northwestern states, which I believe the defense authorities, the police and others are on top of the situation. Above all, it is not good for defense of our territorial integrity, and that is why in whole the federal government need to make a fast step through the security agencies to carry out onslaught against this Lukarawa terrorism in order not to have another Boko Haram in our country.
All right. Well, comrade, there is. Let's just run through the entire process again, because there's a question that is brewing. I mean, it has been confirmed that a group, emerged in northwestern Nigeria, and they took advantage of recent political and military shifts in Niger, which the military have also confirmed that they also they have their strongholds in Sokoto and Kebbi states, and it also has come to our desk the fact that the manner of exploiting vulnerabilities due to the breakdown in military cooperation, between Nigeria and Niger, is their tactics in recruitment. And finally, the ACF, Arewa Consultative Forum, is urging the federal government to take immediate action, to crush the group. And the emergence of Lukarawa has also added to the persistent, insecurity challenges that we are facing, in northern Nigeria. Now, what do you think are the socio-economic factors, driving the growth of, terrorists in northwestern Nigeria, and how can they be addressed, through sustainable development and economic empowerment initiatives?
You see, I mentioned a factor earlier, lacking ownership involvement. Most of these security agents are not angels. They also have blood flowing in them. The moment the inhabitants keep secrets about some fictitious characters, questionable characters, it continues to happen. That is unfortunately the problem in the northwestern states of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara. Like that of Boko Haram in Borno State, even though that one is full-fledged insurgency. There are the advent of it. You can see able-bodied youths called Civilian Joint Task Force came out to help the security agencies, particularly the army. And it reduced it in but this is lacking in Zamfara, Katsina, and Sokoto. So like this of the Lukarawa emergence now, the ownership involvement is lacking, where the communities are hiding information from the security agencies, and even at a time had a pact with them, had understanding with them that come and rescue us from the bandits and others. Even if you have to do that, what happens to your security agencies from the army, air force, police, DSS, even though they have their own excesses and weaknesses? But it doesn't matter. It is always better to trust the police than trust armed robber. It's better to trust the army than trust the invading terrorists and also others. So the moment the ownership involvement is lacking, it is bound to happen. And no matter what economic empowerment you give to the people, it's mentality of our people sometimes. And also, like I told you, failure of intelligence network at the part of security agencies. In every nook and cranny of Nigeria, you have police outposts. You have presence of Department of State Services officers and local government headquarters. What is their importance? And the military intelligence are all other intelligence agencies of the Nigerian security apparatus.
Well, comrade, doesn't it bother you that naturally, as a human being, if I am faced with a certain challenge and I know somebody who has been institutionalized, to tackle that challenge for me, and the person is failing, and I catch wind of the fact that there is someone else that can offer me, the protection that I deserve. Don't you think that it was out of innocence? It was only natural, it's only humane or human for such a community to want to reach out for help, having seen how, the security in the country that is poised to, protect them has been going about the protection thingy. And would you say that, would you blame them for how these, protection people that have come from different parts of, the African continent would turn, or how they change in the long run? Is it their fault?
Well, I can say it is part of their fault. Niger State, particularly the Nupe-speaking areas of Bidda and other areas, when bandits were invading, they cooperated through their local vigilante and chased the bandits away. In fact, they laid ambush. These are also civilian people, inhabitants of these areas. So sometimes mentality of the people contributes to certain problems and mistakes. So I would say that sometimes fear, I would say that fear, illiteracy, and lack of cooperation caused this. I just gave you an example of the Nupe-speaking area of Niger State. When bandits were almost coming to their areas, going to farms to put levies, they cooperated through the Isunupe, who is a retired Brigadier General too. The vigilante were set. In fact, the vigilante group of the Nupe people were led by a female. I'm telling you that. So that is why the ownership involvement is very necessary and important. There are other areas, Kam, a local government area of Kwara North, Barutina, and others, where the communities, the inhabitants have also been resisting the location and sighting of terrorist camps in their areas. They are using their power without even the security agencies to ensure that they should dislodge them. But in Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara, it is the other way around. So we need to blame the communities sometimes when these things happen, even though we know that it is not the constitutional responsibility to protect themselves, because we have the Army, Air Force, DSS, NIA, Immigration, Customs, and other security agencies. But there are situations where you also need to cooperate with security agencies, and that is where the ownership involvement come in. You have veiled the security agencies of information. We have gotten so strange people. These are the markets they go. This is what they do. Even at the time they wanted them to assist them to rescue their kidnapped victims by the bandits, they will have confided in some of the security agencies. Through that, the security agencies will vet them, know whether they have genuine purposes, genuine intentions or not. But in this way, where they allow tests to be done by themselves, look at the nemesis, look at the end result. So I think the security agencies are there for the popular shortcomings. We should have unreserved confidence as well as 100% confidence in our security forces in the country.
Absolutely, because they say security is actually everyone's business. It's not something you leave, for the security agencies alone, to bring to you or to provide, because it's their responsibility to ensure, the safety of lives and property. But now, the Arawa Consultative Council said the new terror group is a politically motivated creation to further destabilize the North. And one will begin to wonder, how possible is it that, the governors of this state, they had no idea, that this group, has actually been in the states as it were. How possible is that? And will it also be right to say that the security agencies, they did not really have an intelligence, but although you already registered that there might be the presence of some of these security agencies, but perhaps it's not deep rooted, right? But is it possible that there was no intelligence report about before the formation of these groups?
Yes, like the state governors, if I may say, with due respect to the state governors, are chief security officers of their states. They don't control the police. They don't control the Army, Air Force, Navy, other security agencies. The control of entire security lies in the President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria Armed Forces. But they can complement, and they've been complemented. Take Lagos State, for instance. Take, in fact, the southwestern states. They've set up Amotekun, and they had cooperation since then. They've been able to make sure that no bandit or terrorists come to Ondo, Osho, Ogun, Lagos, as well as Ekiti State. Then also, look at Lagos State. They've been having a rapid response squad for time, where they have combined efforts of all the security agencies, and the governor has been giving them logistics, welfare, and others, and they're able to live up to expectation. So other state governors can borrow suit. Even though I know in Zamfara, they set up a kind of a security outfit, Katsina set up, but they've not been living up to expectation, because it also has to do with the resources, training, and what have you. Then coming to the security agencies, I think they had failure of intelligence network and gathering, because we are there to be intelligence gathering and presence of qualified personnel and officers in these areas. It wouldn't have been so. Even when the locals collaborated and looked for the assistance of this terrorist Lukarawa group, the intelligence gathering of the police, DSS, Army, Air Force, and others will have helped to check their SSs and carry out profiling of these Lukarawas to know whether they are patriotic people or they had other intention. But the failure of intelligence network, because the rural areas are neglected when you come to security setup as well as intelligence gathering. Right. So that is why we've been periodically calling for equipping of presence of security agencies in rural areas.
Right.
Most of the police outposts in rural areas, about the police outpost, divisional headquarters, even area command of the police. And what we talk about internal security, it is the purview of the Nigerian police with the larger specialized squad of the police, like counter-terrorism unit, police mobile squad, special forces, intelligence response team, a tactical squad, IG monitoring, border police, marine police, and others. They are not adequately funded. Hence, the support and complementary efforts of the Army and the Air Force and other agencies. Yeah, the Army and Air Force have no business in internal security, but the police are not they are incapacitated. They are lacking in funding, no operational vehicles, no modern security gadgets, no intelligence gathering gadgets, no drones, nothing. The few helicopters they have, they are flown when the president is moving to the airport, which is disgusting.
All right, comrade, in a yes or no response, because we're actually due for a commercial break, do you think that this new terror group is politically motivated creation to further destabilize the North? In a yes or no response.
No, no one can say Lukarawa is a politically created terrorist group. Don't forget, they are splinter of terrorists that fought in Libya, in Mali, and also, so they are coming from 3 countries. First, their originating country is Libya, then to Mali, then Niger. Then because of the military coup in Niger, they now found solace in Nigerian soil through these villages, and the communities gave them support because at that time they were devastated by incessant kidnappings and blockades of roads by bandits and also others. So no political undertone, no conspiracy, no compromise. And even if you watch their videos, their Fulani is a foreign one. They're also speaking foreign languages. So they are also a splinter group of ISIS. So let us take it beyond political for anybody to say they want to destabilize the North. No, it is not possible. These are terrorists that are just on sojourn.
All right, very well. Thank you. We'll get back with you in a short break, comrade. Let's just go pay some bills. And yes, this is Eagles Outlook. When we do come back, of course, opening the phone lines is what we will be doing ASAP so that you can add your voice loudly and clearly in the arena of Eagles Outlook. Don't go away.
Are you ready for this?
Keep this frequency clear.
We're live. I woke up with a Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja.
Wow, this feature phone is so good. Which phone is that? It is the itel IT5627. It comes with a 2500 mAh battery, which gives you 55 hours of standby use. Type-C charger, triple SIM slot, 3.0-inch screen, plus a 24 months warranty of worry-free use. Huh? 24 months warranty? Yes! Go and get yours. itel IT5627. New itel, new experience.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Have you heard of the latest car maintenance, overhaul and repair service center in Abuja?
Oh, wait a minute.
BB Empire Motor Services Limited is the place. We offer a wide range of services which include full engine repair, brakes and discs, lubrication, industrial spare parts fabrication, digital diagnosing, injector and rotor servicing, wheel balancing alignment, vulcanizing, spare parts of all cars, car checker, recovery of vehicles, AC servicing and repairs of all kinds of cars. You can visit us today at a state-of-the-art multi-digital workshop located at plot 1374 Cadastral Zone C16 along Julius Berger Road, Idu Industrial District, Abuja. You can also call us on 080-6433-3100 or 090-1066-0869. BB Empire Motor Services Limited, the solution for your car needs and services.
Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, here to stay.
Please listen to this infomercial.
Hello Nigeria. Hello Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's 1-year diploma in certified nursing assistant training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015, 080-550-45801, 080-339-42015, 080-550-45801 for registration.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area, eh?
Do you think I will now find out that?
Please listen to this information.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area, eh?
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG, who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAT in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
You're still tuning in, locked on to Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja's Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. And at this time, we're looking at the Lukarawa group and, the terrorist group, if you like. I mean, even though somebody might want to quickly say, they've not been pronounced terrorist group yet, but I mean, to get them, to find out the fact that there have been breakouts from different terrorists, ISIS especially.
Look at how deadly ISIS is.
I don't know. It would not be out of place to call them that, and to see the devastating, influence that they have, especially in Sokoto and Kebbi State right there, is just something that we cannot look away from. I mean, but yeah, we still have our guest in the person of Comrade Salisu Dantata. Saliu, I beg your pardon, Dantata.
It's not Dantata.
Oh, it's
Dantata.
Oh, it's Dantata?
Yes.
Oh, well, he corrected me sometime before. But anyways, thank you for that, Omoefe. And yes, he has been giving us some thoughts. I mean, you too can join the conversation. Call the number 0907 353 0044 or 0908 766 8888, and the WhatsApp portal number would be 0909 705 4450, and let's have that conversation going already. Well, taking this call. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. What's your name? Okay, can you just trying to get your name right now. Are you there?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, go ahead, my brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Alamin from Central.
All right, Alamin, welcome aboard. Talk to us, Alamin.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I agree to Mefi. I have a question for our guest. I'm glad our guest is from my region, is a northerner. And I have always, and I will continue to maintain that the northern problem, the insecurity that has bedeviled our region, is not a Nigerian problem, but a northern problem. And it is we, the northerners, that can solve it. So I'm asking our guest a direct question as a northerner. Does our guest think that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, can solve the northern insecurity problem if we, the people of the north, do not rise up and say enough is enough? We want peace in our region. Thank you so much. I want you to answer this question. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that one, though. Appreciate. Well, we're still taking calls and reaction right there. Let's see. Hello and good morning.
Thank you, Barrister.
Yeah, good morning to your messenger. Yeah, you're calling from Amale. Amale.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Abasanjo, I'm calling you from Amale.
Okay. Abasanjo, straight to the point. Let's get into it.
Yes, I listen to your guest, our guest, especially. In fact, I am much to congratulate our guest that show out the true story of what happened in Niger State and other states equally. And giving comments, like it said, in Zone B and Zone C, the former governor of Niger State is in the Senate. And let me shock you with this news, Barrister. Barrister, you know, in my community, do you know in 2016, do you know the whole of the bandits in a real life like this? Do you know they came to our community?
In broad daylight.
And the government officials are there. They want to repent. The repentant bandits, do you know what they came with? They came with lots of big weapons.
What they came with?
Do you
What?
know
They came with what? What did they come with? What did they come with?
They said they want to repent.
Yeah, you said they came with what?
They came with the big guns.
Guns. Okay. Armory.
Although the network, I am not too.
All right, Ambassador,
maybe you should call
you
back.
might want to call us
Thank
back.
you so much.
So we can get that one out there. But let's see how we can take this one, and then we get back with our guest at this point in time. Hello and good morning.
Yes, hello. Good morning to you, Dr. Udwa, and my sister there.
Yes,
good morning to you, please. You might want to speak up so we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Is this better now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
All right. So my name is Omotayo, reaching you from Ghana.
Omotayo, been a while. Good to hear from you. Talk to us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Protocols duly observed.
Yeah.
You see, I want to agree completely with our guest, except for the aspect where he said that the locals did not involve. I mean, they didn't call the attention of the government. I mean, the securing agencies. That is the police, the DSS, and all of that. They didn't inform them before they ran into the arms of these Lukarawa terrorists to come and protect them. And then my question is this: what I didn't agree is, where is the federal government when these people were complaining that their cities, their localities are being ravaged by bandits? They were being kidnapped on a daily basis. They were being killed. I mean, children seeing their parents being slaughtered in front of them, and even the children being kidnapped severally. The Dr. Udwa, not once, not twice, not 3 times. It was a daily trend. Where was the federal government? I mean, these things were being announced. You know that a lot of it were not even carried by the media. These things are so, people have been crying for help. Where was the federal government? Look, let me tell you, sir. You know, you asked the guest a question that what choice did the people have when the people who they expected to protect them were not there to protect them? That is the truth. These guys had no choice. They had to look for a means by themselves. They couldn't face the bullets with their own chest. They had to look for other means, and which is the means they got to now that is not favoring them. So look, it is the responsibility of the federal government, and I will tell you straight and this is because I know when these people are close to the corridor of power or they become public figures like our speaker that you are on call with, they actually minimize the truth. They don't say the truth the way it is. The federal government is the willingness to do the job is not there.
Okay.
The federal government that don't want to do the job. I mean, the heads of the police force, the heads of the military, they are the one not releasing the funds for these people to do their job. They are rich. These people are rich people. Go and check their houses, their estates. I mean, the heads of this police and armed forces, they are rich people.
All right, Omotayo, for once of time.
The lack of willingness to do the job is what is not there.
So Omotayo, okay, are you there? Are you there?
I'm with you.
What do you think could be the way forward in this regard?
Look, I have said it times without number. Until our law begin to work. Look, let me tell you, we have laws. It's not that we don't have it, but these laws are dormant. They don't work. These people steal. They don't get punishment for what they have done. And most especially the leaders. Look, they said leaders lead from the front, not from behind. If a big man steals today, they will fine him just maybe 500,000 for bail. But when a poor man does the same, they will fine him 5 million, 10 million, like the children who came out to protest for bad ends.
Omotayo, that cannot be substantiated. But anyways, thank you so much. Well, thank you for. Let's just get on so that we can get to other family members of Omotayo. But thank you so much though for your thoughts. Appreciate. Well, Omotayo right there. I mean, let's get back with our guest. I mean, the phone lines are buzzing here, left, right, and center. Comrade Saliu Dantata, right? Are you there? Hello, comrade. Okay, well, right. I think the comrade, the network is playing fast one right there, but comrade, we're still connecting with you. Should we take the time to get on with the calls? But just before that, let's get on with this message already. All
right, Samuel from Kuje says, greetings to you, Udwak Daniel and Omoefe. The emergence of Lukarawa terrorist group is as a result of our borders that doesn't have control, no proper check on those who enter into our country through the land borders. The northern leaders should wake up from slumber and face the reality communities in their zone. The rate of unemployment in out-of-school children in the northern part of the country also contributes to the emergence of these groups. The idle mind, they say, is the devil's workshop.
Right.
When these migrants from Mali and Niger comes into these areas and they see jobless and idle youth, it will be easy to indoctrinate them into this act of violence and terrorism. Let the traditional rulers in these areas wake up to their responsibilities. They should know who comes to settle in their domains, where they come from, and what is their aim. May God save us, from this menace in this country. In Jesus' name, have a fulfilled and blessed day, Union Omoife. Thank you so much, Samuel from Kuje.
Well, Comrade Sally, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you. Go ahead.
There are certain, angles to this. Quite a number of, talk. One of the family members had asked a question saying that, look, whatever is going on in the north is strictly as a result is born out of the north, and it's not a federal government or a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, responsibility. Do you agree with that?
Well, federal government has the constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property through the security agencies like police, army, air force, navy, immigration, DSS, and others. But don't forget, what is the numbers of members of the Nigerian armed forces compared to Nigerian populace? What is the number of numerical strength of the police compared to Nigerian populace and DSS? I just mentioned to you most of the constitutional provision which empowers the police to be custodian of internal security. Now, if you go to local areas, the police outposts, you find how many AK-47s are there, how many operational vehicles are there. Talk more of the division where supposed to be local government headquarters. The only areas you know that Nigeria has security, the Capital Territory, Lagos, rivers, and other areas where if the president or governor is attending a function, you see where they go and show and demonstrate their skills. Then when you go to local areas in Nigeria, security is nothing to write home about. So if we must tell ourselves the truth, let the entire security agencies be restructured for efficiency. Let the police take their charge as custodians of internal security. We have the police mobile squad, counter-terrorism unit, special forces. Are they living up to expectation? Even during Shagari, mobile police force used to be the one to quench this kind of skeletal rioting and banditry and others. But today, it's no longer happening because we have failed. Our democracy has rather become minor to us. So we must tell ourselves the truth. Beyond just saying federal government, we need to, as a people, also be up and doing by making sure that we provide certain information that we need to give to security agencies. Somebody was justifying that because the locals are being killed, that's why they have to contract. Today, they are seeing the negative effect of it.
All right, comrade. Indeed, it is the constitutional responsibility of the federal government and the president to ensure, the security and safety of, lives and property, through these security agencies that we have. However, I think there's been this bone of contention with regards to the readiness, the political will of these state governors or the northern state governors to really deal decisively with this menace of insecurity.
Yeah.
Don't forget, not long ago, there was visitation by some Northwest governors to U.S. and security prioritized their discussion. When they came back home, in conjunction with United Nations Development Program, there was organizing of security summit in Katsina, hosted by the Katsina State Governor, Dr. Jiko Radda. So the issue in it is that there have been trying measures, but the only area they failed is to apply both kinetic and non-kinetic. And when I say non-kinetic, that is the going extra mile to involve the inhabitants of these areas that Islam banditry onslaught is going on and also others. So during that summit, I cannot see representations from Zurmi, Talata Mahara, Sabon Binni, Goronyo, and other Aziz, Batari, in Katana, Jibia, and other areas where these armed bandits are carrying out. So all they did is a kind of charity, like a Christmas, where governors were in speeches, resource persons, and what have you. And if the non-kinetic aspect is not involved, you cannot, like I'm talking about ownership involvement now, where the locals also need to be availing and be involved in this fight, because like the civilian joint task force, they are able-bodied volunteers who volunteer during the advent of the Boko Haram insurgency. So it has to be both kinetic and non-kinetic. So that is what the governors need to know. Amotekun today, the manforce are not graduates. But they are doing wonderfully well, where they have even local hunters, able-bodied users, and others. And in the 5 southwestern states are gathering momentum. Criminality has gone to the barest level. The moment they get approval, they collaborate with police and others, and they are achieving.
Right.
So the northwestern governors can also go and borrow suit from Lagos State and some southwestern states.
Yeah, comrade, just one question, and I'm sure that somebody, the listener right there is wanting and begging and dying to ask this question. I mean, we already mentioned the fact that these, guys that have formed the Lukarawa, were fragments of breakaway from these other terrorist organizations, as we know, and especially one name rings a bell, ISIS rings a bell. Comrade, do you see light at the end of the tunnel? Are we going to make this through? Can we handle this? Maybe just one sentence, please.
Yes, Nigerian security forces have the capability. Don't forget, we once formed the major force in ECOMOG, and we liberated Liberia. We helped Sierra Leone. We were involved in Congo and also others. We can do it. These are just criminals. The armed forces will do it, the police will do it, and others will flush them out with all combatant nature, with gallantry efforts of the Nigerian security forces.
All right, thank you so much.
Security analyst, Comrade Saliu Mahmoud Dantata has been our guest. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine. Ife and Uduak, you guys are ace broadcasters and very, very wonderful. And thank you for patriotism.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Right. And this is where we say thank you to you too for being a part of the discourse. I mean, we wish we could go on and on, but we cannot at this time. But yes, tomorrow promises to be another day, another time to talk Nigeria, talk politics, and talk the future. Well, until tomorrow, though, my name is Uduak Daniel.
And most importantly, the views expressed by the guests and the contributors on the show were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. I am Omoife Peace Osemere. Good morning.
Eagles